Hi, this is Richard Campbell from DotNetRocks. I'm here at Build in Anaheim, and I'm talking to Shai Cohen. Hi, Shai.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm great, sir. So what have you been doing at Build?
I've been listening to everything that people have to say, watching the where the trends are going, how the new Windows is going to impact our industry, what it's going to do to everything that we know today, especially .NET, but also what is the story with this HTML5 JavaScript, and where is that going as a trend? A lot of interesting stuff.
So any conclusions you can draw? I mean, it's only been a couple of days.
Right, and it's actually been fascinating couple of days because it came in, we didn't quite know what it's going to be. Certainly looking, to be surprised, and we were, surprised. There's a lot of actually good surprises. One of them was, we still have .NET, which was a good surprise. Not so much, but we're looking at all the new stuff that's coming with WinRT and looking at the future of .NET. I've had several conversations about this with, just people, program managers or people like that working on the product, all up to, Anders and Soma. And .NET is here, and so we're very happy.
And I did hear mention that Scott Guthrie talked about .NET 4.5 is going to ship on Windows 8, which I think is the first time ever that Windows will ship with a version of the runtime.
That's true. It's actually it is inside. It's not on top of. It's not shipped along with. It is part of Windows 8. Very much closer than what it used to be before. Closer than Windows 7 and anything that came before that.
But we're also talking about another development model, really, aren't we, with the whole Metro WinRT stack. Does this begin the process to moving away from .NET? I mean, .NET's 11 years old.
Right. But what's really interesting is that today, if you look at the tooling, the language, the maturity of the language, the libraries, and all of that stuff around it, still .NET, I think, is the most compelling way to create applications that run, a Metro-style application to run on top of WinRT. And that's going to be like that, I think, for a while now. And while there are other models, the native code model and the HTML5 JavaScript, I still think that .NET, for me at least, is going to be the most compelling way, most productive way to create those kinds of applications.
So certainly we have an opportunity to do everything in Win 8 that people want to do using .NET. It's just a question of whether that extra layer, is the guy working in C++ against WinRT going to be able to outprogram me in C# through .NET to WinRT?
No, all the applications that are going to be written that way are actually going to be based on the same runtime. It's the same underlying runtime that powers those three stacks, the JavaScript stack, the .NET stack, and the native stack. And so in terms of power, in terms of what you can do, it's the same thing. Though it comes to a question of productivity, what language you're most comfortable with, and what kind of applications you want to write. Obviously, XAML kind of applications, the kinds that we've seen on the phone with the Metro UI, etc. They're very powerful. And of course, if you like the HTML model, if you like that HTML5 and the ability to create applications that can run anywhere but take advantage of the Metro platform, the WinRT really, then that's another option that we have today. So I don't actually think that in terms of out-programming, any one of those three stacks has more power over the others. It's really what you're comfortable in and how you want to move forward.
It seems like XAML's playing a very central role in Win 8. Can you talk to what's happened to XAML, what's different in this?
So XAML was, if you think about what happened with Silverlight, actually I want to take a little break and talk about there's this great analogy to Silverlight. So if you look at Silverlight as a .NET runtime environment, right? It's a lot more restrictive than full .NET. It's not WPF and doesn't give you a lot of the stuff that it has there, but actually it has some stuff that is not in WPF. So going back to your question, the power of XAML, I think, as a way to really be creative and declarative about user interface, that's the equivalent of doing the HTML. Because if you think about it, XAML and HTML are both declarative ways of specifying your UI without drawing explicit lines and stuff like that. Let's say reflow if you're looking at a tablet and you change the orientation and stuff like that. All those things are really powerful. So I think that XAML, there's a great reason for XAML being on that platform.
It's all a markup language in the end. It's just different flavors of it.
Yes, exactly. It's markup.
So then the next question we have to go into is more of how the form factor is going to impact this. Whether Windows 8 seems now to have a bigger diversity of hardware to run on than ever before.
Right. And that's really exciting, because if you look at the at devices today, right, and the future. I'm not saying anything profound here. Everybody's known the future is in mobile and cloud, right? How do you connect those two things? And you look at the devices today out there. The devices that you have to make a choice, right? Do I want something that is like a phone or an iPad or some sort of more restricted device like that, or do I want the full power of a desktop? And you have to choose, so you have to carry both, right? But if those devices that were just handed out at the conference, they're actually a really interesting thing, because you take it out and it's a slate and you can use it with the Metro UI. But for me as a developer or somebody who wants to use productivity tools, Office and things like that, right? Those are things that touch interface, to do Excel. Right now, I don't think I can do that, right? I don't know what Office has in plans for the future, but right now it's not something that you can use. And so the ability to have one device that I can use both as my takeaway, sit on the couch, slate, whatever, and for doing productivity, programming, all that kind of stuff, that's actually phenomenal. So
yeah, they're talking about it being 2 operating systems in one.
Yeah, you can think about it that way. Yeah, definitely.
But it also begs the idea, what if they made a SKU that was just the Metro version?
Right.
Stripped it down and put it on lighter weight hardware and lower cost. That sort of looks interesting too.
Right, and all that talk about ARM and all that stuff. That's definitely interesting, and I think we'll see like different needs in the marketplace being addressed by the same operating system. So some people, for them, all they need is the slate. I can type on the screen and do a little bit of email or some Facebook, some chats, stuff like that. That could certainly be enough for those people. And for people who need more, the operating system can give you more. So I think that we'll see different devices, different price points, but it's interesting to see. What's really interesting to think about going forward is the phone going to be driven by something very similar?
Yeah, as soon as I start thinking in terms of Metro only, WinRT only on the stack, knowing already how lean 8 is, if we lifted out all that desktop mode stuff and built an ultra lightweight one, I bet it would run on the phone hardware. We're not that far away.
Right. And with the phone's hardware, becoming like multi-core phones and stuff like that, that's amazing, right? So think about it. What if I could actually run the full Windows 8 on a phone-like device? And when it's just a phone, then I just use it as a phone. I use a Metro kind of thing and an interface, and I can dial with it. But when I take that same phone, I dock it, right? And now, what can I do with that?
Yeah, now bigger screen, more input devices,
keyboard,
all the things are there.
Mouse, right? Whatever it is that I want to do, and now it can do a lot more for me. So that would be really, really interesting to watch for. There are a lot of problems with that: battery size and battery life, the power of the graphic processor, and how much you can do on the phone versus if I need to drive a large screen, that's going to be challenging. But there are some technical solutions in that space.
Well, Moore's Law works for us there. Just give us a couple more generations of hardware, and that form factor can carry a lot of horsepower.
Right. Or if you just connect the buses, so you have actually an external bus with a graphics card and the docking station, that might work.
Yeah, even additional processors. There could be a whole other set of computers attached to that. You're carrying more of like a personality profile in your phone.
Right, that can do some stuff, that can actually do useful stuff. But as I plug in, I get access to more processing power, whatever that is, if it's GPUs or CPUs, more, obviously, today if you think about docking stations, right, they have other peripherals. They have a network card on them, or they'll have, they'll have some graphics, an additional drive on them, stuff like that. But if I could take that with me, and then my computer, I can take it anywhere, I can dock it anywhere, and I have full access to all the things that I have. Plus, most of my information is going to be out in the cloud. Right? And at that point, it's magic.
Yeah, all just seems to work. Well, great thoughts here, Shai. I've been enjoying Bill, but you really give me some new insight here. Thanks for talking to us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.